We're doing a haul because I went shopping at Waterstones and ordered loads of books because my life is meaningless and shopping is the only thing that keeps me going. So hello heathens, how are you all doing? I may have purchased some more books, which I thought I would share with you today. It is also still hotter than balls out there, so I've got some Coke Zero that I'm chugging, so it's lovely and refreshing. How are you all? Have you been doing any book shopping? Let me know what you do. How do you shop? Where do you go? What do you get? Have you got anything recently that you enjoy? So like I said, I'm going to do a haul. I've got some Waterstones. Actually, in there, I've also got some I got from Sainsbury's. And then the rest are packages that I've had delivered from Amazon and like resellers. So let's start with my books I bought from, of all places, Sainsbury's. For those of you that aren't British, Sainsbury's is a supermarket in the UK where I go to, buy the groceries, the milk and the butter and the eggs. And they have a book section. And for whatever reason, this time when I went, they seem to have had a massive delivery of brand new fabulous hardbacks that I actually wanted to read. And the cool thing about Sainsbury's is they're half price. So they literally cost like almost half price less than they do at Waterstones. So when I was at Sainsbury's, I picked up, is it these two? Yes, these two lovely books. So I was looking at these when I was in Waterstones, but I was sort of umming and ahhing whether or not to pick them up. But seeing as they were half the price, I figured I could get both of them. So girl math. And this one's also got the sprayed edges. It's really nice. So let's start with this one. So this is For Whom the Bell Tolls by Jaycia Lin. I may not be saying that right. So this is The Journey Doesn't End Here, Death is Just the Beginning. And I started reading, I'd seen the cover and I thought, the title was really cool because it reminds me of, is it Metallica or AC/DC with that song? But I was like, this just sounds really, really cool. And then I kind of picked it up and I was like, they told her to go to hell. She went on her own terms. Instantly. I mean, if you know me, any book that features people going to hell, I'm there because I'm hoping. And it says, Lily isn't exactly thrilled with her arrival in the afterlife, but what awaits her there is more fantastical than she could ever have imagined. Deities wait in line at the coffee shop, fae flit between realms, souls find ways to make death a beginning. As she explores the many corners of the afterlife, Lily finds herself surprisingly drawn to a place most people would avoid at all costs, hell. Armed with years of customer service experience and pent-up sarcasm, Lily carves a job out for herself amongst hell's demons, sending souls to their rightful circles with more than a hint of sass. There's more, but that was all I needed to read. I was like, are you kidding me? This just sounds like, if you've watched the TV program Lucifer, one of my favourites. Also, it reminds me a little bit of in Beetlejuice, when they die and they're like in the processing centre. And weirdly enough, I've just finished, what's the Bella Mackie book? Oh, I'm trying to find it. It's What a Way to Go by Bella Mackie. And that one also features someone who dies and then he's in the waiting room, the afterlife waiting room, seeing what his family is doing after he died. So I was like, I must read this. This sounds fantastic. And then the other book, and I really wanted to get this and then I saw it and I was like, sprayed edges, love it. This is Spellbound. This is by Georgia Layton and it's... So this one, I believe, is like a fairy tale retelling. So it says Spellbound is a captivating retelling of Sleeping Beauty, immersive, magical, and of course spellbinding. So it apparently is like a feminist retelling of Sleeping Beauty. And it says, in a remote castle perched atop a windswept island, a long-awaited royal heir is born. In accordance with the ancient custom, a blessing ceremony takes place to bestow the princess with magical gifts, along with a terrible curse. Except this is not the love story you may think or know. There is no enchanted sleep for the princess, no handsome prince to save the day, just three women who together concoct a desperate plan of misdirect that changes the course of all their lives. I just thought that sounded really good. And yeah, this is really, I like that cream. This is just really pretty. And I love anything fairy tale-esque. And I just thought a fairy tale retelling of Sleeping Beauty. Yes, please. Right, so thanks, Sainsbury's. So moving on. Waterstones. Good old Waterstones. The first one I've got here is Ruthless Creatures by J.T. Geisinger. I am almost done with this. I actually found the audio on my library app. So, because I've been wanting to sort of sit down and read this, I wanted to read it as part of the Mafia readathon. So I was a little bit late, but I'm going to include it in my wrap up next week after that, for the Mafia readathon. But this is a dark romance about a woman who was, well, I was going to say she was left at the altar, but not really. So her fiance disappeared on the day of their wedding. He just poof disappeared. Nobody knows what's happened to him, right? And she's kind of been living in this limbo for 5 years, and this is 5 years later, and we're on the eve of the anniversary of his, we don't know, death, gone missing, we don't know what happened to him. And she's always kind of been holding on to that, because of course nothing worse than not knowing, right? You know, she says at one point she'd rather have a body, you know, because not knowing. And then she's kind of still in grief. She's sort of been dating, but she can't get with anyone. She just she's kind of living in the past, essentially. And then she sees this guy in the bar when her and her friend are out, and he's super hot. Like, oh my god, the way this man is described in here. Cage. Cage. Okay, new book boyfriend. Thank you very much. And he's really hot. Her friend tries to hit on him. He's not interested, but he seems to be interested in our main character. And she then finds out that he's her neighbor, and things kind of go from there. He may or may not be part of the mafia. So that's interesting. And also, he seems to be hiding a bit of a secret from her. So we'll see how it ends. I am loving it so far. I think I'm only like an hour and a half to the end of the audiobook. I'm really, really enjoying it. The spice is spicing. This is so good. I'm going to carry on in the series because there's like 4 books and they're all standalones as far as I don't know if they're interconnected, but the stories, I was reading the synopsis of the second one. It's carnal urges, and it sounds like it's a different couple. So we'll see, but really, really loving this. So great series. Then what else did I get? So I was reading, like I said, the new in section, and I could not resist Kiss of the Basilisk by Lindsay Straub. Now this I've seen all over the internet. Everybody's been talking about this. This is monster romance, and it does say on the front here, a warning to readers, it's best to go into this book with absolutely no knowledge of its content. So because I'm that bitch, I am not gonna do it. I love to go into my books cold, right? I like, if I know a lot about the book or the synopsis beforehand, I hate that. So I don't. The basilisk is a creature, so I'm guessing creature romance. That's all I want to know about this. Dark romance, apparently it's really spicy. I've heard a lot of people say it's really good. I'm really looking forward to that. Like, so I think it was like 1 in Waterstones. I was like, yes, please, I'm taking that. Then, okay, now, you know my love of Ms. H.D. Carlton. And this is the only one of her books I don't have. Phantom. So this is the, so in Haunting Adeline, is it a haunting or hunting? I think it's in the first one actually, in Haunting. She's reading her grandmother's diary, which she finds kind of in the walls of her house, Adeline is. And she starts to read her grandmother's story. And her grandmother also had a stalker. And this is their story. And this is also a mafia romance because her kind of stalker is part of the mafia and her husband owed money. I've been listening to the audio of this. I'm kind of halfway through. I might switch to like the physical book now that I have that, because I didn't have the physical book. I think this kind of got pulled from the indie, and this is the trad pub. But when I saw that Waterstones had the traditional one, I was like, yes. So now I have all of the H.D. Carlton books to date. So I'm very, very happy because she's my favourite author. Then I couldn't resist picking up this one. This is Minx by Sophie Lark. And The Book Refuge, The Book Refuge, she was talking about this. And this is one of Sophie Lark's that wasn't really on my radar. But first of all, that is a very cool cover. And it says, submission is a gift. The more powerful the person, the greater the gift. And I believe this is about a billionaire and like a dominatrix, or like a escort. Oh yeah, she's an alluring escort, and kind of their relationship. And I think Jen was talking about the fact that like the power dynamics in this, and how she in a way uses her body, but she uses it as from a position of power. And I really like that. I found that interesting, and I really kind of want to read this. And I really love Sophie Lark books. I'm making my way through the Brutal Birthright series at the moment. So yeah, I was like, I need to pick that up. And then the final Waterstones one is this one. This is Bad Grace. Oh, no, wait, I've got another one. No, I don't. I'm not going to get it now. Never mind. You'll see it in my wrapper. I'm reading it. It's a... No, never mind. We'll keep you in suspense on that one. But this is the final one. This is Bad Graces by Kerry McCauley. And this was purely as I was walking past the shelves, because I could not help myself scanning the shelves. And I pulled this out. I had no plans to buy this, but hey, here we are. So it sounded really amazing. So it said, after years of stumbling between foster homes, Liv Whitlock desperately needs to change the trajectory of her life. So she steals her perfect sister's identity. So that sounded really interesting, but this was shelved in the fantasy sections. I was like, has this been misshelved? But wait. Liv starts to rewrite her story, winning a prestigious internship on a movie set and finding herself on a luxury yacht alongside actresses, pop stars, an Olympic gymnast, and a social media influencer. But just as the group finally starts to board, a violent storm wrecks their yacht, stranding them on an island. Faced with the threat of starvation and exposure, the girls soon notice that every injury they suffer causes inexplicable changes in their bodies, with a predator unlike anything they've ever seen before lurking in the forest, and little hope for rescue. The girls become each other's final tether to humanity. Hello? Does that not sound incredible? I've never heard anybody, maybe I've just missed it, but I've never heard anybody talk about this book. This book has never been on my radar before. That just sounded freaking amazing. All of those things together. And again, this kind of goes in beautifully with my kind of ocean theme I'm doing for summer. So this is going to be reread ASAP Rocky. Okay. Right. Now, let's get on to my packages. So, so you're going to watch me struggle with these again, because okay, that didn't work. Oh, that was so anticlimactic. But yeah, that one's great. Have you ever heard that? Let me know if you have, because I definitely hadn't. Right, what have we got here? Ooh, okay. This is Sutton Asylum by Kinsley Kincaid. Now, I have a thing for asylum romance. I've realised it's a kink. I like it. I blame J. Rose and the Blackwood Institute, but this is Welcome to Sutton Asylum. Warning: you're about to enter Sutton Asylum, home of the Ashford twins and others like them. These individuals should never be allowed back into society. They are a danger to the public. They are a danger to other patients, staff, and visitors. They are sick and can never be cured. Only ever contained. Enter at your own risk. Leave if you're lucky, but don't stay. But don't say we never warned you. Yes, okay. Like I said, this is very Blackwood Institute coded. I'm really excited to read that. Okay, let's see what else we've got. Okay, what's with the these usually seriously? Amazon's packages are defected. Okay, let's see what else we've got here. Okay, you're gonna see that. Oh, okay. Oh, I'm so excited. Oh, I can't wait. Okay. This is Exodus, right? This is Exodus by Kate Stewart. I've literally just read Flock. Okay. Has anyone read Flock? If you have, comment down below, because it was freaking incredible. Okay. So Flock is so again, I picked this one up on a whim when I was in Waterstones, and then I've been hearing a lot of people talk about the series and say it's so amazing. So I was like, you know what? I don't want to have FOMO. I want to know. I want to know what everybody's talking about. And seeing as it was on my shelf, I read it. And literally I read it in 2 days because I was like, what? This is incredible. Okay, the romance? But it's like this. I realised, again, I went in kind of blind. And then I realised that it was kind of like a Robin Hood style story. But it's kind of like a gang, and it's just, so you've got this girl who, this is obviously the second book, sorry, so it's a trilogy. This is the second book in the trilogy. That's why I'm so excited, because I immediately want to read this after reading the first one. So I ordered it. But the first one is about this girl who, she's been raised by her mother all her life, and then her father's this very rich guy in this town, and he owns like a manufacturing plant. He owns all sorts of businesses, but he's never been involved in her life. He's only sent a bit of money, but her mother's really struggling, and it's kind of her last year. So she's going to go off to college, right? And she goes to like live with her father, and on the proviso that she takes courses, but she also works in his plant over the summer. And there she meets this group of men, and they have these raven tattoos, and they own an auto shop, and it's all very mysterious, and we don't really know what they do. And Sean is incredible, but doesn't really give her much to go on, and keeps telling her that he will tell her what is going on at some point. And then there's Gabriel. So it's like, it's why choose, it's spice, but the storyline is so good. There are so many things that I wanted to underline and quote. If I was that kind of a person, I might go back and do that, but it's just phenomenal. I really enjoyed Flock. So Exodus is book 2. Sorry again, thanks for joining my TED Talk. But it is so good. Please let me know if you've read it, because I was like, this is insane. I understand why people are saying that it's so good, because I was obsessed. Ooh. Okay, I'm really excited about this. So this is Never by Jessa Hastings. Now, on my previous video that I posted about, all the summer kind of pirate mermaid reads, I was talking about the fact that I'm slightly obsessed with Peter Pan retellings. So I've got Peter Pan, the original, somewhere in Under the Rainbow behind me. Okay, I can't find it right now. We'll it's somewhere. I have the original. I haven't read that, I think, since I was a child, but we all know the story about Peter Pan and Neverland and the Lost Boys and Tinkerbell. But I'm really obsessed with those retellings at the moment. And I've been reading The Vicious Lost Boys. I actually finished, since I filmed that video, I finished the 3rd book, The Vicious Darling. I loved it. Have to read the next one. Also have The Last Lost Girl, which I'm about to start reading. And then I discovered this book. So this is Never by Jessa Hastings. Now, you may have heard me ramble about how The Conditions of Will by Jessa Hastings is my new favourite contemporary romance ever. And then I saw this and I was like, there is a boy of legend in the tales passed down in my family. He glides on the coattails of the sun, rides the wind, and freedom runs through his veins. His heart, they say, is wild. And this is apparently a Peter Pan retelling. And I was like, are you kidding me? Jessa Hastings, look at this book. I mean, look at it. Is this not like the perfect summer read? And I mean, that cover is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. I was literally, when I saw this, I was obsessed. I was just like, I must read this. I didn't even know that this existed, if I'm completely honest with you. And I feel like this is 2023. This was actually published before Conditions of Will, but I was shook. I was shook. I was like, yes, please, give it to me, baby. Oh yeah. And then I just started thinking about Jason Momoa. Right, next. Okay. Now, also, I'm doing my horror in summer reads, and I just love serial killer romance. I can't help myself. So this is Killer of Mine by Alexis Grace, and she's the daughter of a serial killer, and they're FBI agents. That's a good start. I mean, you had me there, literally. No one knows Freya is actually the daughter of the Crosscut Killer, America's most notorious serial killer, living under a false identity as a detective, is isolating, but at least Freya's safe. That is until she falls onto the radar of Special Agent River Park and his team. River, Oz, Elijah, and Jude have been chasing the Crosscut Killer for years. Great names, by the way. They're the best the FBI has to offer, not to mention unfairly attractive. Oh, I see where this is going. They know exactly who the killer is, but he's always one step ahead of them. Freya's about to change that. When Freya's true identity is uncovered, she's forced to work with River and his team. All Freya wants is to catch her father. Getting involved with not 1, but 4 FBI agents would be a very bad idea. I think it's a brilliant idea. You go, girl. Again, I have a slight thing, not a slight thing, like a massive thing for white shoes. I never used to be a white shoes girly. I was always like, no, one person. I've completely changed my mind on that. I'm like, white shoes? See what I did there? Yeah. I mean, I think I'm funny. Nobody else does, but I do. I think I'm very funny. Okay, moving on. Let's see what else I ordered. So half of the time I can't remember what I ordered. This is not obviously all on one go. This is over a while. Ooh, okay. Clearly I was ordering more of my dark stuff. Satanic Shadows. This is by Lee Rivers. This, I've been told, is absolutely fantastic. I am loving Lee Rivers' work. So I was like, I'm getting this one. And I think, when they sometimes like go on sale, and I saw the price drop on this, and I was like, right, I'm buying it now because, let's face it, I want to read it anyway. So this is In the Shadows He Waits. Seraphine Winters had a normal life, one she misses when she's kidnapped and taken to an island in the middle of nowhere. Forced to attend a Quirton Academy, a castle full of immortal beings. The only way she can leave is if she passes all her classes, but as a human, she's hated just for breathing, with no way to fit in around magic and powers she never knew existed. And who doesn't hate mortals more than Dane Elton? The Shadow Prince loathes everything about her, yet there are more secrets and lies than truths between the pair, and it's a race against time when the curse is revealed. And again, I've got a whole bunch of books that are also academy setting, like Magical Academy and like Twisted Dark Academy settings. So I'm super, super excited. There's 2 books in here. Whoa, we've got a twofer. But yeah, I love Lee Rivers. Actually need to get the second book in Little Strange. I don't know if it's out yet. I saw it was on, speaking of my favorite authors, I saw it was on pre-order, but I want to get that second book. Now, remember how I go on about Karina Halley? Well, apparently I cannot do a book haul without at least 2 Karina Halley books. So we've got The Blood is Love, which is the second book to Black Sunshine, which I've been meaning to get to. And again, on Amazon, it was like last book, only one left. I was like, FOMO. And then this is The Ocean of Sin and Starlight. So again, if you saw my previous video, this book over here, A Ship of Bones and Teeth, is a Satan tier book for me, is one of my favorite books I've read all year. This is the second book. Now, these are both, I believe, standalones, right? So that one you can definitely read as a standalone. And I think that this one is also a standalone. And I was just like, well, as much as I love that first one, and as much as I love Karina Halley, what can go wrong, right? And like I said, this is the second book to Black Sunshine. This is Absalom and, oh God, what was her name again? Lenore's story, and it continues in this one. And I think they go see his father in this one. And some people have said this one's better than the first one, and I adored the first one. Again, another Satan tier book, so cannot wait. Then... So again, if you watched the previous video, you'll know that A Sea of Ruin by Pam Godwin, again, Satan tier book, right? One of my favorite books. So I had to get Dark Notes. So this is Dark Notes by Pam Godwin. This is dark romance, teacher-student. Apparently it's gut-wrenching. Apparently it's incredible. It's Pam Godwin. So I just know, like, I know this is going to be so dark. So it says on the back, they call me a slut. Maybe I am. Sometimes I do things I despise. Sometimes men take without asking. But I have a musical gift, only a year left in high school, and a plan with one obstacle. Eric Marcoux doesn't just take, he seizes my willpower and bangs it like a dark note. When he commands me to play, I want to give him everything. I kneel for his punishments, tremble for his touch, and risk all for our stolen moments. He's my obsession, my master, my music, and my teacher. I am so looking forward to reading that. Another last book. The last book. Let's see what's... This is a Waterstone book. She says, unsure of herself. No, this isn't. No, this is speaking. So this is Marketplace. Inkton Lies. This is Gianna Darling. I mean, like, I had to get like look at the cover. Just look at the cover. Okay, this is one of the what are they called? The Fallen Men series. So again, I'm steadily collecting the entire Fallen Men series because I've got Dead Man Walking. I've got one of the other ones. So I've got Dead Man Walking. I thought I had another one. And then I've got Inkton Lies. And I'm kind of buying them. Quite often you'll see them that they like go down, or you can get a secondhand copy. So I'm trying to kind of get the whole series because someone did say you're better off reading the entire series. And this one sounded so good. So I think he's the boy next door. Yeah, he moved in next door, but I think there's like an age gap, and she really liked him all her life, but he's part of the MC. So it's like forbidden romance, MC romance. I'm obsessed with Sons of Anarchy. So anything with MC romance, I love. And like I said, I could not resist that cover. I'm like, give me that man right now. So yeah, this was like super well priced. So I was like, right, I think I like book 4 or 5 or something like that, but I'm just kind of getting them all at the moment, and then I can read from book 1 on. That's my lot. Let me know if you've read any of them. Let me know what you're buying and what you're reading this summer, and I will speak to you all again very soon. Thank you so much for joining me. Subscribe if you're not subscribed, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.